Okay, then let us continue about configurable process. I was telling you, so this is a framework which can be customized to each software organization specific needs. Factors which will affect the customization should look what technology is to be utilized, what tools are to be employed, processes that are being currently used in organization. Those things are part of this process model. So I think that's it about this configurable process. And nothing much is there. You can just mention these points, that one example that you are watching right now, that example you can utilize for configurable process. And basically the main motive over here is to complete a specific task. How to complete that specific task and what things are to be utilized for that one, that will come under this configurable process. So that's it. Next question. Next question is, what are 5 staffing principles? 5 staffing principles we have to see. Now, this is a direct question, and in starting it came also. And these are the 5 principles. Yes, someone is unmuted. Okay, I think 511 has rejoined. Okay. See, next question is 5 staffing principles. What are these 5 staffing principles? So Boehm, the researcher Boehm, has presented these 5 principles for software projects, staffing principles. First one is principle of top talent. Here, use better and fewer people. That means we are talking about quality of the skillful people, quality of personas, the people you are trying to hire for the development of the projects for the organization. So use better and fewer people. Quality of the people is very important. It is better to use less number of people with more skills. So that is principle of top talent, staffing principles. Next, principle of job matching. So fit the task to the skill and motivation of the people available. Skill sets of people can be different. Best programmer may not be suitable as an architect or a manager. So give the task accordingly, according to their best skill, best utilize them in a proper way. Similarly, an architect or a manager is not suitable as a programmer. So you have to see which person is capable to do what and hire accordingly. Moreover, they should be motivated to do their jobs. So that is the second principle of job matching. Third one, principle of career progression. So that is, organization does best in long run by helping its people to self actualize. So here, organizational training programs have educational value, and project training programs are helpful for the individuals to develop their career. So here we are talking about providing facilities or opportunities to the people of the organization to improvise themselves. Okay, training programs. That's why the term has been utilized as self actualization. Okay, so what kind of trainings they need, and in what things they want to improvise themselves. It can be communication related also, management related also. Okay, so relationship management also within an organization. So that is the third principle of career progression. Then fourth one is principle of team balance. You have to maintain the balance between team. So select people who will complement and harmonize with one another. Psychology of the team members will balance the team. So it should not be like the kind of attitude in the team of if the ego or arrogance is there of senior junior relationship, or something like people are not ready to take or accept their mistakes. That kind of environment is not a balanced environment of the development team. Okay, so that they are trying to portray over here, they should be friendly and quickly mingle with their co-members of the team. Okay, so that is team balance. Last principle is of phase out. Principle of phase out. So keeping a misfit on the team doesn't benefit anyone. That means a misfit gives a reason to find a better person or to live with fewer people. Here, don't keep people who are not you can say comfortable for the development of the project, comfortable in the team, so that will create a problem. So that's why it is better to segregate those who are really willing to work on things, who are really willing to work with the team and on the project that is being taken up by the organization. So that is a phase out. A misfit demotivates other team members also, will not self actualize and destroys the team balance. That's why these things are very important to rectify. Okay. So these are the five principles that you have to remember. And this question, because it came in 2016, obviously it can be repeated also. What are some five staffing principles? So remember this one. And I will give you the content. Just go through it once again when you are preparing seriously for the subject. One go through will be enough. Next question. Next question is about our elaboration phase. So obviously about elaboration phase or some other phase of life cycle question will be there definitely. They can ask you about inception phase also, construction also, transition also. Any phase they can ask you. Okay. So this phase of elaboration. Oh, give me a second. Okay, sorry for the interruption in between. So what I was telling you about elaboration phase, very important question. Definitely question will be there from this portion. They will ask. Uh, Apart from this one, they can ask you about inception phase. They can ask you about construction phase. They can ask you about your transition phase. Any one will be there for sure. So now let us see what is elaboration phase. So the objective of the elaboration phase is to baseline the architecture of the system to provide a stable basis for the bulk of design and implementation effort in construction phase. So basically the preparation for construction phase. So here in elaboration phase, the architecture will be developed which will help out in construction phase. And architecture evolves out of consideration of most significant requirements and an assessment of risk. So here, those who have a great impact on the architecture of the system. Okay, and assessment of the risk also, that means here testing also happens during elaboration phase. Stability of the architecture is being evaluated through one or more architectural prototypes. So architectural prototypes means before giving the complete baseline of the architecture, prototypes have been made, and accordingly we have to check whether the architecture is self-explainable or not, whether the architecture is giving the complete scenario of all the components, subcomponent and task of the project or not. So that is the elaboration phase, the main purpose of the elaboration phase. Yes, someone is unmuted? No. Okay. So next is about elaboration phase only. Some more points I have to tell you that you have to remember, because this is very important portion and definitely question will be there. Primary objectives of elaboration phase. So to ensure that the architecture requirements and plans are stable enough and the risk sufficiently mitigated to be able to predictably determine the budget and schedule for the completion of the development. For most projects, passing this milestone also corresponds to transition from light and fast, low risk operation to high cost and high risk operation with substantial organizational inertia, to address all architecturally significant risk of the project. So here we are talking about these related to architecture. What are the things we have to keep in mind? The architecture should be made with low risk operations. Finally, we should have the complete self-explainable architecture after completion of elaboration phase, in which all the important risks are being addressed properly, precisely, and then the on the basis of the requirements that were being set up on the initial stage, the plan of the architecture is stable enough for the project development. Then to establish a baseline architecture, matlab means a complete architecture derived from addressing the architecturally significant scenarios, which typically expose a top technical risk of the project. So these become some of the objectives. I'm not asking you to cram all these things, just make you to understand what are the content that you can utilize for your questions in exam, from your exam perspective. Then to produce evolutionary prototype of production quality components, as well as possibly one or more exploratory throwaway prototypes to mitigate specific risk, like your design requirement trade-off, means according to the requirements that were being set in inception phase. In the first phase, the design is made or not, comparison between those. Component reuse, that thing. Product feasibility, demonstrations to investors, customers, end users. So those things, product feasibility. Demonstrate the baseline architecture will support the requirement of system at reasonable budget and reasonable time. Okay, so that demonstration should be like that's why mostly it is recommended that your architecture should be very much self-explainable. Everyone should understand, all the stakeholders should not be technically fine to understand the architecture. Okay, your architecture should be like that, which is very much self-explainable. A person who is going to watch it will be understanding the basic scenarios of your project. So that kind of architecture you should make. To establish a supporting environment, that means what kind of tools and techniques you are going to utilize. Okay, so that is a supporting environment. And in order to achieve these objectives, it is equally important to set up the supporting environment for the project. And this includes creating your development case, create your templates, creating your guidelines, and setting up tools. So these are certain things which are related to your architecture and indirectly to your elaboration phase. Okay, from your questions perspective of this question, define elaboration phase, this portion will be enough. One more thing about elaboration, these are the essential activities of elaboration phase. So this question can also come up separately, that's why I kept it in this slide with elaboration phase. What are some essential activities of elaboration phase, or what are some essential activities that are being performed in elaboration phase? So till now, if you are having any doubts, please unmute yourself and discuss with me. 13, okay. Okay, no response. Okay, then let us discuss these essential activities of elaboration phase. Just to give you the scenario about this one. In this one, rule number 3 has not joined. Okay, see. These essential activities, first one is defining, validating, baselining the architecture as rapidly as practical. So on the basis of the practical grounds, we want to finalize our architecture. That is the motive over here. Then refining the vision on the basis of your requirements that have been set in starting. We are refining the vision based on new information obtained during the phase, establish a solid understanding of the most critical use cases that drive the architectural and planning decisions. Creating and baselining detailed iteration plans for the construction phase. So here we are baselining our detailed iteration plans. Iteration plans means for how long we have to repeat our phases to get the finally fully working developed product. Okay, refining the development case and putting in place the development environment, including your process, tools, automation support required to support the construction team. Planning for the construction team, that is another activity which is being performed during elaboration phase. Refining the architecture and selecting components. So here potential components are evaluated and the make, buy, reuse decisions sufficiently understood to determine the construction phase budget and time with confidence. Selected architectural components are integrated and assessed against the primary scenarios. So here we want to understand the budget and time of the construction phase, first thing, and the architectural components which are being integrated and assessed against the primary scenarios, lessons learned from these activities may well result in redesign of the architecture, taking into consideration alternative design or reconsideration of requirements. So here we want to check out the flaws in our architecture and select the components. If there are any, we have to work on it during elaboration phase itself. We don't have to wait for the completion of implementation phase. Okay, so that is our some essential activities of elaboration phase. So till now, please let me know if you are having any doubts. Nothing? Okay, then I'm moving to next question. So let me show you before going on to next question how much we have discussed. So from this one, this part A, we have seen what is late design breakage. You should have this idea if you are listening this class properly now. Okay, you should have this initial idea what kind of content you have to utilize in these questions. Late design breakage completed. Parameters of models, 5 parameters we have discussed of budget models, size, personas, those things. Configurable process, what is configurable process, that we have covered up some to complete a specific task. Staffing principles we have discussed. So these staffing principles, 5 staffing principles were there. Principle of our job matching, principle of getting skillful people, okay, principle of our team balancing, those kind of principles, 5 principles we have to remember. And then we have just covered up elaboration phase. So these 5 questions are now done. In these 5 questions, um, you should now have at least some idea of writing your answers properly. Okay, let's move to next one. Again, I'm reminding you, if you are having any ideas in your mind how you want me to take up these further classes, please let me know. That will be helpful to me also. Okay, because I don't want it to be like anyhow in the last I have to give you some seminars, but before that I want to utilize these at least 10 to 15 days till mid of February, so that we can have some scenario of understanding your previous year question papers. So please utilize these classes and let me know also your expectations. Okay, next question is work breakdown structure. This topic we have covered up in detail during our syllabus. This is part of, I think, unit number 3. So work breakdown structure is nothing, again it is related to the architecture design. So it is a deliverable oriented hierarchical decomposition of work. Basically we are decomposing our work into components and subcomponents, and which is to be executed by the project team to accomplish the project objectives and create the required deliverables. And WBS is the cornerstone of effective project planning, execution, controlling, monitoring, and reporting. So here, WBS is basically a visualization of your project activities. First, we have to divide our complete project into some components, then subcomponents, and final tasks, which are to be executed by different teams. All the work contained within the WBS is to be identified, it is to be estimated, scheduled, and budgeted. Okay, so if your WBS will be good, that is a kind of you can say that is a kind of a way to understand that yes, we are leading towards a good project, good quality project. But if your WBS is not quality wise not okay and you have just made it, then it can also become a reason for the failure of the project. Okay. Okay then. So work breakdown structure is developed to establish a common understanding of project scope, and it is hierarchical description of the work that must be done to complete the deliverables of the project. Each descending level of the WBS represents an increasingly detailed description of the project deliverable. So obviously, that is basically your, you can say, WBS is representation of your complete project, according to which we will try to understand what is the scope of the project, different activities involved in the project, how much time that particular activity will take combinedly, how much time complete project will take. In that way we have to make this WBS. So this is called as all in all a WBS. Okay, so I hope you got the understanding about this work breakdown structure. Next question. Responsibilities of SEEA. So that is basically an authority team, SEEA. What is SEEA? System Environment Economic Accounting Authority, also you can say. So here the term environment came, and the framework which integrates economic and environmental data to provide a more comprehensive and multi-purpose view of interrelationships between economy and the environment, and the stocks and changes in stocks of environment assets as they bring benefits to humanity. So basically this authority of SEEA will give us the complete idea about the environment of the project, and it will track up the things related to that one. That is the main motive over here. Also you can say this authority of SEEA is responsible for automation of the organization's process, maintaining the standard environment, training projects to utilize the environment, and maintaining reusable assets. So here we are talking about the complete infrastructure of the project related to your tools and techniques for the development of the projects. Main objective is to achieve a significant profit for the common process, and tools, techniques, trainings that can be provided to the people of the organization. This authority is responsible for supporting and administrating this kind of standard environment. Okay, SEEA provides internationally moderated framework for reversing the historical information silo approach to statistics and for providing indicators that directly respond to demand of integrated policy making. So basically it will give us the scenario to make some effective good decisions also, you can say. Initiatives, indicators related to initiatives like beyond GDP, green economy, green growth. So these are related to your profit management of the company related to a project, measuring progress of societies and better to life. So this is given, this content is given in context of the general approaches of utilizing this SEEA, and it is derived from the accounts provide the measures for following policy questions. So who benefits from natural resource use? What are the impacts of the state of the environment? So this is given in the form of this paragraph is given in context of your general scenario of the society, real world. Depletion of resources after measures of the real income of the nation. So it is given in the form of the country basis and government basis also. Up to this point you don't have to go, you just need to know some of the parts, roles and responsibilities that I have told you from this first portion, and then the training, tools and techniques that will be provided by the organization to the personals. Also, if it will be possible, I will try to change this content and give you some of the point wise discussion of the topic. Okay, in this content I will share this slide with you. Okay, then So that is SEEA. All in all, what you have to remember: responsibility for automating the process of the organization, maintaining the standard environment, training projects to utilize the environment, maintaining reusable assets, tools, techniques, trainings that can be effectively utilized across multiple projects only if the organization is responsible for supporting and administrating a standard environment. So that is SEEA. Next one. Let me share the slide again. And this is the last question that we are discussing for today. Then we'll continue in next class. Again, I'm telling you, you people are not that much interactive to me. I know, but I'm again telling you, this is for your sake only. Try to utilize these classes and come up with some ideas in class. Okay. If you're not comfortable with the way that I am following, please tell me what you are expecting. That will be helpful to me also. Okay, so please let me know, because classes without interaction, without even knowing what you are expecting, that will not be beneficial to me also. Okay. Next question is, explain about configuration baseline. So in configuration management, basically whenever the term configuration comes up, we have to talk about performance. Okay, that is the basic idea that I'm just giving you. So a baseline is an agreed description of the attributes of the product at a point in time, which serves as basis for defining a change. A change is a movement from baseline state to next state. Basically, we are talking about here a change. Basically here came up in this definition, from one state to another state that we want to proceed, from one stage to another stage also you can say. So that movement we want to understand over here by utilizing this management of configuration. And the identification of significant changes from baseline state is the central purpose of baseline identification. So configuration baseline, what is the basic requirement, specifications also you can say. Okay, so that we want to know, by utilizing which we will make the team or the developers or the managers we will make them understand how they have to proceed for the next stage also you can say. Then typically significant states are those that receive formal approval status, either explicitly or implicitly. Approval status may be marked individually when a prior definition for that status has been established by project leaders, or signified by association to a position above or below the established baseline. So here we are talking about approval status for the first baseline. Then approval status is usually recognized publicly. Then a baseline may also mark an approved configuration item. For example, a project plan that has been signed off for execution. So you can say an initial baseline plan has been signed off, has been contractually awarded. Then if any changes you want to make, that you can do. In a simple manner, associating multiple configuration items with such a baseline indicates those items as being approved. So we have to set up this first baseline, first scenario for the project, and that configuration baseline can be related to any configuration item that we are talking about. Like here example is given of project plan. Also other example can be of project design. Okay, so that kind of, in that way you can understand this thing. So baseline may be a single work product or a set of work products that can be used as a logical basis for comparison. Baseline may also be established as the basis for subsequent select activities when the work products meet certain criteria. So here in this question about configuration baseline, that means we are setting up the initial scenario, initial specifications, initial parameters for a specific work product, a work portion of the complete project, and then on the basis of which we will try to understand the later stages of the project. So that is about our configuration baseline. So such activities may be attributed with formal approval, those who are related with the initial baseline. Okay, so that's it.